Hello.
Oh, geez, you're loud. That's okay. I can fix that. Okay, you're less loud. Hello.
Hello.
Yay. Tristan, I'm very excited about this game because I've beaten it. And you've beaten it.
Yes, indeed.
And that was a mistake for both of us.
Yes, indeed.
So, question, what do we have? Why might people be familiar with this?
This is a game that was in Kusogr4nde 3. It was actually a match that had me and Cadis squaring off against each other, so we all know this game.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we're looking at Shrek Kart today.
Ow! People are gonna have a blast. Shrek Kart is definitely not a good video game. Mind you, I actually thought that the game was fairly trivial until the last stage, which was literally impossible. However, you've done something that makes it a little bit trickier. Instead of being able to choose their own character, they get Shrek.
Right, so one of the things with the race with me and Cadis is we chose different characters, and I really feel like I won in character select, and 30 seconds is not long enough to get an idea fairly of who you should use in the race. So I've just mandated that both of our racers have to use Shrek, so it's an even playing field, and we get more Shrek.
Not only that, but Shrek is, I think, one of the worst players in this game.
I never used Shrek. I went straight to the princess because it's me. But
I mean,
yeah,
the princess
and-
is overpowered. She's great.
Right. I basically chose the princess just purely because aesthetics, and it turned out to be incredibly well suited to a blind race. Which is why I say I feel like I won on accident. So we'll give them both Shrek. Cadis said that Shrek was pretty bad, and I tend to trust their judgment on that.
I think it's because of the handling. Oh yeah, we had this because we had an April 1st Shrek Day for Kusogr4nde one time. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was. I actually enjoyed this game, but everyone knows I have really bad taste.
Oh,
so,
you do, yeah.
I can definitely see how it's not great. So I will kind of throw out that, especially on the tracks that have like the wood paneling floor for the track, you get this really weird like moire effect that may be a slight motion sickness concern.
I think
but,
most
I don't think it's
people
that
are
bad.
probably going to be fine. Just know that it's one of the uglier GBA racing games. Shouldn't be surprising. Oh my gosh. Szechuan Steve is currently getting his setup ready, and he is putting Shrek faces all over it. I love it.
We need the title screen music.
Don't worry, we'll get that in a little bit. For better or for worse, Tristan. I have to capture everything else first. So, actually, I wonder, what have you been playing recently? What's going on in your video game life?
So not much Kusogre. I had Iron Hike and Big Bad Gameathon and Beauty and the Beast, and then
Oh,
I kind of wandered off and have been streaming Etrian Odyssey 4 for the past week and a half.
A good game? Aw, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good, actually.
I don't think I've ever actually played it.
It's one of those things where you pick it up and you know right away if you're gonna like it or not. That's
Oh, really?
So I would just say, yeah, pick up, I would say 3 or 4 and just try it at some point. And if it's like, oh, I really hate this kind of concept, you're not gonna like the entire series.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair enough. I'll keep that in mind. Etrian Odyssey. Now, what consoles did they come out on? I actually don't know anything about them.
DS and 3DS. They're dungeon crawler RPGs in the style of wizardry and might and magic.
Okay. I'm so sorry, everybody, for this music. It's... oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. It's so bad. Oh my gosh.
So, Steve has a webcam view up, and he just has this, like, look of dread at the moment of, like, what am I getting into?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is not bad emulator scaling. This is as good as it looks. And yeah, this game was definitely in the Big Bad 10. By the way, Tempestral, thank you so much for the resub. I'll be not acknowledging anybody else during the race. Heh, you nerds. But I will after. You know what? I feel like, you know, today is a beautiful Sunday. And what other kind of beauty should exist than Shrek? You know, oh my gosh, I love that, like, I can bring up Shrek every time I'm discussing the damsel in distress trope in class, and everybody immediately knows what I'm talking about. It's great.
I've actually never seen a Shrek movie.
I've seen Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, but that's it. Which, honestly, I think that's all you really need. Well, it looks like we are at the countdown. Anything that people should spawn? Or spam in chat. Don't spawn anything.
Please don't spawn in Brosentius chat.
That's gonna be for tonight. Okay,
Wait, what?
nothing. Never mind. Yeah, ogres, anything with a green face. We have one of those emotes in my channel as well. Just spam all Shrek likes that you have. And best of luck to the players. Bart Pig is totally not a Shrek.
One of the, like, NES speedrunners has a 4-segment emote of, like, his face turned green, and I want to see that. I don't even remember who it is at this point.
As soon as I see movement in the first race, I will start our timer. Oh my gosh. And here we go. Szechuan Steve spinning out right at the very beginning. So what can you tell me about this game, Tristan?
Oh, so it's a series of 16, I believe, tracks unlocked linearly. You unlock the next track by qualifying, which to do so you get 3rd place or better in the current track, and Steve's a pumpkin.
Yeah, that's life. It's Halloween! Oh my gosh, you chose the perfect Halloween game.
Yeah.
You didn't even
Yeah,
know
it's
it.
Mario Kart, but bad, basically. So, specifically with Shrek here, Shrek is supposed to be the well-rounded racer that can do everything kind of well, but especially with the engine here, it results in not being able to really do anything. It's very slidey, very icy. You would think doing boost turns would be the most effective way to get around, and it is speed-wise. If you play Mario Kart, you know how to do, like, a hopping boost turn.
Yeah.
But you slide like nothing when you do it.
Honestly, this game, I feel like it's really worthwhile to use the brake, which I don't think either player is going to use early on, because they're just going to try to get used to the handling. But the handling is so bad.
The other thing is that you would think, hey, if you are driving a racer that is disadvantaged in speed, which Shrek is versus some of the more speed-focused racers, you would want to do some blocking, some offensive driving.
No.
That doesn't really work. If you collide with another racer, they catapult in front of you.
It doesn't matter if they're ahead of you or behind you or how they hit you, you will always stop. Like, essentially completely stop dead in your tracks. So hitting somebody else with your cart is the worst idea in this game. Which actually comes into play later on with some of the very tight tracks that show up, especially the final track, which I hope we see.
Yeah, so during the Tuso race, I was able to get to the final track, and it's pretty dang hard to beat because you are on a 2-car wide track the entire way around. You start in 8th place, and if you collide with anything, you come to a stop and the other racer catapults in front of you, and that includes being rear-ended.
Now, Tristan, you can start in first place if you beat the previous track again.
That is true, yes. And so you can come into the final race and start in first and win, but if you don't, you're in for some pain.
Yeah, like, honestly, if you do not move into first within, I'd say, the first about 20 seconds of that track, it's almost impossible to beat. Hey, Dan the Enigma is doing pretty dang well. It looks like Steve decided to go take a nap with a poison apple.
Yep.
Yeah, Shrek
So
luckily is fairly immune to poison.
I mean, yeah, he's already green. What would happen if he gets poisoned? He turns greener?
I mean, that's not what poison does, Tristan. You know poison kills people.
I thought it just made you turn green.
No!
Most RPGs I've played, I just ignore it.
Wow. Wow.
It's not true in EO, actually.
Oh, I love it. No. No, you die, in general.
So another thing worthy of note is, different from Mario Kart, is that each racer has a racer-specific ability that you get by picking up a star item and using it. It's different for every racer, but in this case, it's both of our racers are using Shrek, and Shrek's star power is to fart.
Okay, and what does the fart do? I mean, that sounds like it should be an obvious answer, but I'm genuinely curious.
I think it makes adjacent racers spin out if they're like right next to you. I don't entirely know for sure because like I said, I played this for 2, so I played it a little bit after. I always use the princess, but I fired it up to do some testing today and couldn't really figure out what it did. I think it's adjacent racer spin out.
Oh, geez, Steve's. You know what? Anything on GBA that happens to have 3D at all tends to destroy bit rates, and that's what we've got. That's okay. We'll keep
I
going.
love it. It's an oil painting.
You know, I would say it's a Monet, especially with the colors of the trees. Although they should be a little more pink, is what I'd say, you know? Anyway.
The bad bit rate looks less ugly than a clear image.
It's kind of true, though. So I'm glad that we can see art versus accuracy. We'll call this a transformative art stream, okay?
Well, it is Shrek. There's transformative something going on.
Dan, unfortunately, did not finish in the top 3. You have to finish in the top 3 in order to move on to the next track. So he's going to have to redo this one.
Right, and that's the only reason why we're probably not going to see a finish, because if you were just able to do every track linearly, I think it's like a 30-minute playthrough. It's not all that long. I mean, it's a racing game. But we had to have some kind of mechanism here to slow down the game a little bit. You know, the developers need to make sure players got their money worth, so you have to finish in the top 3 to move on.
Yes, Szechuan Steve, by the way, is moving on to the next track, taking a little bit of a lead, but I think we're going to see it go back and forth between the players at least for a little while, especially... No! Oh, I love it.
Yeah, this is the wooden track I wanted to warn people about. This is not good.
Oh, yeah, it's a little ugly. So this was developed by Prolific Publishing Incorporated, which later became Silent Software, it looks like. They made a version of Die Hard. They made an old school Who Framed Roger Rabbit game. That was for the Amiga, Apple II, DOS. I feel like we haven't actually seen that one here. They helped with the port of Daikatana. Yeah, I think that says enough.
Oh, no.
Seriously?
And, well, after hearing this soundtrack, I don't blame them for becoming Silent Software.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's definitely not the happiest thing I've ever heard when it comes to a company. Oh no, we've had this Roger Rabbit game in Kusogr4nde. Yeah, okay. I know this company. I love them. Silent Software, thank you so much for doing all... Yeah, I heard the fart. I just had to tell you, Tristan. I heard the fart. It wasn't subtle. It was there.
You heard that? I wasn't pressing my push to talk key. I'm a little worried.
Oh my gosh! Oh, by the way, this was published by the company Take-Two Licensing, also known as TDK Media Active, which they also published games like Shrek, Wreakin' Havoc, Shrek, what else? Darkened Sky, they published Darkened Sky. Also Shrek Treasure Hunt, Shrek Hassle at the Castle, Shrek Super Party, Shrek, just Shrek, oh, also Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown. They published like all of the Shrek games.
You think the rights holders for Shrek would have learned after the first couple, but well, whatever, it's Shrek. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, it's true. By the way, someone in chat is asking if we have had other Shrek games in Kusogr4nde, and the answer is yes. We actually had a full Shrek day once.
Yep, April 1st. That was Tuso, right? Where we did the Shrek April Fool's Day?
Yep. I believe so.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, I know that we've had Fairy Tale Freakdown. We've had, this game a few times. We have had bootleg Shrek games. There's a lot of gold out there. And I think we had Shrek 2 once, if I'm not mistaken, the one with Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I recall there being some Shrekitude spewed out all over the place. So here's the question. This or Scunny Kart?
This is actually playable. So I would say this beats Scunny Kart any day.
All right. That's an opinion.
Have you played Scunny Kart?
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay, you need to play that and just try one of the ice levels, because in Shrek, they actually don't change anything, but Scunny Kart adds ice physics, and it's absolutely unplayable. I don't think you can beat them. I just don't.
Oh, no.
And if you go with the default speed, it's even less playable. So, yeah, give that a shot sometime. I'm looking up stuff about this game. The lead artist for this game worked on no other video games ever.
He just disappeared after this game launched.
Yeah, who made the music? Wait, they have a dog in the credits. Kipling.
Did the dog make the music?
Oh, MIDI arrangement. John Harvey. John Harvey also worked on literally nothing else, only this.
How do you feel about this rain effect on Steve's screen?
Oh, it's beautiful. That's what rain looks like. Like, in a tornado, maybe. Just flying up.
It looks like someone just copy and pasted the, like, sweat drops emoji all over the place.
Let's see. Oh, the 3D modeler for this game also worked on nothing else. I feel like that is kind of the name of the game. Background artist, only worked on this game. How about the tester? Oh, he also worked on Matchbox Caterpillar Construction Zone.
This game has a lot wrong with it, but I would absolutely not blame the QA, because for what it does it solidly. I'm not aware of any major bugs, and the design defects were probably things that developers knew about and just went, it's fine, don't worry about it.
It's true. Honestly, you can't really blame QA. In fact, blaming developers is kind of a bad thing as well, because oftentimes they are put in a crunch and they just have to get something out. So, we can blame the CEO. How about you, Russell Mix? Yeah, it's all your fault.
I'm absolutely down for blaming executives.
Stupid Russell. Actually, one of the people who worked on this was the producer for the game Thief: The Dark Project back in 1998.
See, Thief is actually a good game, though.
Yeah, I know. But he also worked on this. I love it. You know, I just try to look for connections and see where people moved from some of the crap that they did. And, you know, it's great when people are able to get out of the rut of Shrek. I'm never... Yeah, okay.
Blame whoever invented won't fix. I like that. Meanwhile, on the race side here, it looks like Dan has been having some trouble with the first series of races, and Steve has moved on to the snow area, which is exactly the same as every other area. It's not really icy. There are icy patches, if I recall, but...
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. We don't really do ice physics here. You start at ice physics and kind of don't get anywhere worse.
That's basically the only extremely helpful part of this. That, like, they could have been cruel. They could have put in ice physics, but I don't know. The Shrek people are gentle souls.
Gentle, not competent, but gentle.
Yeah. Hi. What's up with racers having some of the worst sound effects out there?
You know, I don't know. It's one of those things I've noticed alongside sports games having the most out-of-control music, and
Yeah.
I think there's a similar concept there, a similar train of thought, but I'm not entirely sure what it is.
You're probably right. Hey. Wow. You know what? One of the programmers for this actually went and was the producer for Heroes of Might and Magic 1 and 2. And the game Inherit the Earth, Quest for the Orb.
Those are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Inherit the Earth was like Furry the platformer, wasn't it?
Furry the adventure game, that's what it was.
Furry the adventure game,
Yeah, Inherit the Earth. Justin played that. Yeah. Yep. So, you know, maybe, I was gonna say maybe Shrek woke something up in him, but no, that was before Shrek.
Everyone has that moment where something makes them realize that something ain't right here.
See, everybody, if you're a furry, you gotta watch out, because one day you'll be making a Shrek game. Did I just see what happened on Steve's screen? It's Shrek. That's what I saw. I don't know.
That's a pretty accurate assessment. So the main progression of things as you get further and further into the game, aside from more complicated, curvier tracks, is that the racers do get a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, and will start abusing the interesting car collision physics to just deliberately run into you. And also the tracks will start having fewer and fewer guardrails on them. This track here is kind of one of the first wake-up calls, I feel like, that things are going to get a little difficult.
Yeah, now, I believe Dan the Enigma and Szechuan Steve are on different tracks
yes,
at this
you
point.
can tell from the background. And the shape of the track, of course.
I mean, not that the background is well made. I'm thinking there are other GBA racing games that had really great looking backgrounds, like the Nickelodeon one, for example. That one's beautiful, but this, no. It's so ugly.
The interesting thing is that I don't think the GBA actually had mode 7 in the same way the SNES did. It may have had a similar graphics mode that would let you do sprite scaling and rotation and whatnot, but a lot of these games that copied like Mario Kart had to do so in a completely different way as far as like development execution goes.
Really, I mean, I could believe it. I imagine that making anything complicated on old school Nintendo platforms was just difficult. Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely sure it didn't have like literally mode 7. People call this a mode 7 racer, and that's like, if you're going to be pedantic, that's like literally factually false, but you know, everyone knows what you mean when you say a mode 7 racer. And
Yeah.
Dan's going in a hole.
Oh no, Dan!
I love it. You get hit with a sleep attack or pick up the item that puts you to sleep while you're drifting toward a hole, and there's just nothing you can do but slowly
Yeah.
roll forward and go in the.
It's true. I'm just thinking about this because, like, I believe it depends on the color of the books. That the white books that you pick up give you a positive power up. The black books that you pick up gives you a negative pickup. I'm not 100% sure though. Oh, Dan, not able to pass that level. Like Szechuan Steve, we got the cheat on the bottom right, and he's plowing through this.
Yeah, he's really doing well. He's up into the farmlands now, which I believe is the 3rd area.
I think so, yeah.
Has he dropped a qualification yet?
I think he did once, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's just been going a little bit slower. Slow and steady wins the race, of course. You know, if you're rushing too much, especially in one of these crappy kart games, you're gonna fall off the side a whole bunch and end up just losing tons of time.
Yeah, indeed. There's another racing game I have in my arsenal, small spoiler there, that it's taught me, it's actually been useful when I've edited it in other racers. It taught me that in some of these games, you don't have to go flat out to win. You just have to go faster than everyone else and not screw up.
Yeah, basically. I'm trying to like find some reviews of this. I see multiple reviews saying that Nintendo should sue this company for stealing.
Nintendo should probably sue someone. I'm not entirely sure who here.
Oh, how about this? This review, Shrek, what a shocker. They essentially say after 5 minutes I was shrieking my head off. Graphics, here's what they gave it. Nice on the whole. However, compared to the King Mario Kart, they look very, very scratchy. And what's with the heads pointing towards you? That kind of creeps me out. The menus are presentable, but alas, they are its only strengths. Tracks are okayish, but nothing special. Overall, always could be better. I'm glad that they like the... They basically said the graphics are okay. But I'm going to disagree. They're bad.
Yeah, the graphics aren't good. I'm kind of comparing Steve and Dan's views right now, especially well, Dan just finished the track, but it seems to me that for each track, or at least each background, there's a different parallax value, because when Steve is turning, you can see the background just move pretty much in lockstep with the track. But where Dan is, it's weird, it's not right, it's gem power. And I'm confused about how they could get it right in one set of tracks and not in the other.
Now, I'm a little bit confused because Dan appears to have gone back. Is this a previous track or is it the same world that Szechuan Steve is on?
Oh, dang, I am not sure. That looks like a really simplistic track.
Because I know that there was something a little bit weird about unlocking levels. We told the players that they have to get in at least 3rd place, but I'm wondering if you have to get in at least 2nd place on the final track to unlock the next level.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think there may have been some worlds that had bonus tracks in them where you could go on, and then at some point it would just stop you and you have to go back and do them.
Oh, apparently
Dan's on
this is World 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I think...
Thank you, Kate. Oh no, Dan! Sometimes it's worth just taking it slow and backing up. Do not get stuck on corners. Biggest recommendation here. Steve's on
Yeah, the corner
2-4.
physics are really bad.
Cadus.
It's probably the biggest thing here I would call a defect as opposed to just a bad design decision.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, you can't necessarily blame testers for that, because guess what? There was one tester. That's it. Steve is making some really solid progress, but I expect a wall will be reached fairly soon.
It's actually quite amazing how well Steve is doing with this. I've been deliberately trying to move away from platformers because I feel like a lot of our racers are strong in platformers. And I've been surprised by just how well some of our racers have done when I've given them an off-genre game like a racer or something.
Oh my gosh. I love that this review gives the story 0 out of 10. But
Well, there's not really a story, it's a racer.
But they rate that higher than the music, which I would say the lack of music, like if there was no music, it might be better than what they have. Especially with the title screen music, it's so bad.
Is the HUD all sprites? I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
See, I love that there's someone in chat that actually knows the GBA dev internals, because I find that stuff amazingly interesting, but I don't know much about the GBA. I'm more of a NES and SNES dev person.
Oh, really? I honestly know nothing about developing stuff other than you could at least make the outlines of the characters darker. There we go. See, I'm given professional criticism. Those outhouses are nice in Steve's screen, you know, in the background. Good outhouses.
Yeah, so when I was musing on the parallax being weird, someone in chat pointed out it's because there's actually 2 parallax layers.
It's true.
There may even be, yeah. And I guess the track I was looking at on Dan's side when I noted that just didn't have the second layer.
Oh, it's Christmas time on Dan's side. Yeah, this is ugly.
I think the runners will clear the game in the hour? No, I think Steve is going to get to the final track and get stuck.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, for rotating, yeah, 1, that's not how parallax works, but 2, if you're going to do it, what you should do is make the contrast very apparent between the 2 layers. Like, Jim Powers was bad, and I think the reason was that, you know, well, never mind. Everything about Jim Powers' parallax is just vomiting after you play it. But this, you know, at least it's not that bad.
Okay, at least the parallax in this game goes in the correct direction.
Ish.
Have you seen the model that someone drew of what the Gem Power world would have to be shaped like for that reverse parallax to be accurate?
No, I haven't.
He basically has to be running around the outside of either a torus or a hypertorus. I forget which one.
You're right. That would make sense. It's dumb, but that would make sense.
Or the inside therein, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. Are there any actually fun Shrek games? Have you played any?
I mean, I didn't strongly dislike this. You may be asking the wrong person. Other than that, I haven't played any Shrek games.
What? Okay, you need to play a few more. Like
Shrek as a franchise is something that just never grabbed me, and I've never had a real interest in any of it. So no, I haven't seen Shrek movies. I haven't played Shrek games. It's an ogre. Okay.
Now Steve is restarting a race, and I think that's better than playing and losing.
Yeah, Steve reached a a merge, a T intersection, and went the wrong way for a moment and got the reverse warning and just went, you know what, I'm going to restart.
Yeah. I think it was trying to do this jump that he accidentally didn't make the jump, and because of that, ended up, like, missing out on a whole loop there.
Yeah, that jump is pretty rude. If you don't make it over, you drop into the lower part of the crisscross and have to do an entire section of the track again.
Oh yeah, there are also shortcuts throughout the map, as Chad is pointing out, that if you go the wrong way on them, you can get really confused and end up going the wrong way. Mind you, it doesn't even show the shortcuts on the map, which I think is part of the point. That's fine. If you're going to have a shortcut, you know, allow people to make mistakes. It's kind of fun that way. I'm not saying this game is fun, but that's a decent idea. Yeah, I honestly, you know, people rag on Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown quite a bit. I actually really enjoy playing that. Not because it's good. It's not. Oh, it's not. But it's hilarious. It's one of the more entertaining, crappy fighting games I've played. And, you know, Shrek 2 isn't all that bad. I didn't actually play it, but watching it, it seemed like a fairly decent platformer.
Then there's the Shrek game that lets you do fart boosts.
Oh, yeah, that's on GameCube, right?
You think so, yeah. See, there's really two things I remember about other Shrek games. One is fart boosts, and another being an entire level where you just yeet sheep into a pen. And that's the entire level.
Oh, yeah, that one's fun. Oh, there was also the bootleg, the Russian bootleg. They just changed the sprite of Yogi Bear and put Shrek in it, which the base game was not very good, so it just got a little bit worse with Shrek. That one was special. Hey, Dan is moving on to part 3 here. Yeah, Steve has been stuck a little bit on this stage. Dan is definitely catching up a bit.
Yeah, this is a pretty good equalizer, especially with that intersection that you have to jump over.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's real hard to have the speed there. There's a speed boost panel just before it, but even that, if you're not already moving pretty quickly, is not enough to get you over it.
Yeah. Ooh, Dragon Strip. We're getting close to the level.
Yeah, this is the final section, I believe. The
oh,
final
this
four.
Music. Ow. Ow. Help my soul.
Yeah, there is one particular track that those of us who were here for Tuso is, you know, the Tuso match of this, we're aware of it, that we expect to be kind of a barrier. We'll see, though, when we get there.
Oh, yeah. This hurts. I hate it. I really hate
I've got to
this.
refresh my memory.
Yeah, pull it up. Pull his stream up. Listen to it. For the rest of your life.
This is some real Goose energy.
Goose energy?
Yeah, it's all honking.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's true. Bye-bye. 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 Why do people just yell bye-bye at you all the time? And why do they all sound exactly the same? I remember that there's something else that's weird about this game, that, like, there are individual voices for each character, but I'm never really sure when they're talking. Oh, Steve! Having to restart the level. Honestly, I think that's completely fine, though, you know. It's better than just coming in 8th.
Yeah, to his credit, Steve has a very firm grasp on exactly when he's messed up bad enough that he should just restart.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to do it. I know when I raced this, I tried to basically stick out every race, and it resulted in a lot of wasted time.
How far did you make it during your race?
I made it to the final track.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's a good chance we're going to see the final track. I think neither player is going to finish it. Simply put, it's butts. Steve is, in fact, on 4-1. Correct, Joey Gatorman. That means that Steve is almost a full world ahead of Dan the Enigma. Is that really going to affect things too much? I don't know. The equalizer's coming.
So, in anticipation of both of our racers possibly being on the same track when time is called, we did decide if there's a tie, we're going to let them finish and go by what ranking they get.
Yep, and essentially they'll have 5 minutes to get the best ranking on the course that they're on, and if they don't, then... Or, you know, they'll have 5 minutes to try to actually beat the stage. And then it'll be called time. Whoever got the best ranking on the tied stage ends up taking the victory. Yeah, now, what's interesting is that Dan has actually seen a little bit of this game before. I believe Proton John had to play this because we're evil. And Dan saw it on his stream, but Steve was like, I don't think that's going to be enough. And, you know, obviously, at this point, I think we can agree that he was correct. It wasn't a very big advantage or any advantage at all.
Right, when Dan had said that he had seen this before, my thought was, well, if you see it, it looks like bad Mario Kart, and that's really all you get. Especially if it's not an in-depth full playthrough. And really, just seeing this doesn't really help a whole lot when you pick it up and try to play it.
Oh, not at all. Like, there are a few games that, yeah, there are going to be surprises that you need to figure out during a blind race. But I can't remember.
Right, the only thing that could possibly help with seeing it is getting an idea of what the racers did, or what they do, which is why I mandated they both use Shrek, so they didn't have that option.
Yep, true. Honestly, they could have chosen a better character than Shrek, but, you know, whatever, it's Shrek.
Chad is pointing out that the fraction of a second counter on the clock in the top left doesn't measure in centiseconds, it measures in frames. It rolls over every 60.
Oh, you're right. Huh. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. You know, I'd actually say that saying this is a 30 frame per second game is a little bit generous here. It's running. Like, it's better than most of the highlights, okay? Like, we can say that with a certainty.
Time is written in base 60. I mean, in my reality, Swatch Internet Time caught on and replaced everything and never went away. Metric time forever.
Swatch time?
Watch Internet Time. Oh, that's a story. Turn of the millennium. Swatch, the watch and clock company.
Yeah, I can never take
the
them
concept
seriously because of the word swatch. It's just can't.
Yeah, so they lifted the concept of metric time, which was a thing that already existed, and rebranded it Swatch Internet Time, which divided a day into 1,000 minutes. There are no hours, it's just minutes.
Ugh.
And it doesn't have time zones. So the idea was you use this for communicating time over the internet to people who are in different time zones. The problem with it is that the conversions didn't work because, like, it's an unclean conversion between hours and Swatch Internet Time beats. So if you wanted to tell someone to meet you somewhere at like 7 o'clock, that's like 134 beats.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yep.
Which I don't know. I think that for some things it could be fine to standardize, but at the same time, like, that's one thing that I'm completely fine with keeping because I don't know, they're sold to say in high noon.
Here's the thing.
quarter
a
past
programmer.
3. Yeah?
I am, by contract, by design, and by creation, required to hate the concept of time zones. Dan,
Well, I hate
just
time
finished
zones
up the
too.
race.
They're dumb.
Yeah.
Steve, moving on to... Is this the... Nope, not quite. We're getting
No,
close.
this isn't it. This is where things start looking like Bowser's Castle.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Tristan, I completely agree that time zones suck. They're bad.
So,
We don't need
Steve
them.
just got rear-ended by every single racer on the track and went from 1st to 8th because every time he got hit, he stopped again.
Dan, where are you going? Oh, okay. Still in 3rd. I think it's worth still going in this case.
All he's got to do is qualify. We don't care about 1st place. Just better than 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
So 0 was not midnight GMT in Swatch Internet time. 0 is midnight GMT in metric time. The only difference between metric time and SIT is 0 in SIT is midnight in Switzerland, because that's where the Swatch headquarters are.
Okay, yeah, if you decide to make your time 0 and ruin everybody else's lives, then that's your choice, Switzerland.
That's
why it
that
never
to be pretty stupid.
That's why it never caught on. Because they're like, yeah, we're the center of the universe now. Yeah, dumb Switzerland. I'm never buying one of your knives again. I'm sure they have other things like chocolate. I will buy their chocolate.
I want a Toblerone.
You know, I just want dark chocolate.
Well, you're entitled to make bad life decisions, I guess.
Wow, strong choice. Let me guess, you also like Kool-Aid. Drink it all the time. Mr. I like things that taste mostly like sugar and don't have depth of flavor.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate about me, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I got you.
So yeah, meanwhile, back in the race. Yeah, I know, we're terrible. Steve is holding 3rd place and totally not Bowser's Castle here. I'm expecting to see the final track. I don't know about completion, but we're going to see the final track, I bet you. And Dan is a pumpkin.
Yay, pumpkins! It's the season to be a Shrek pumpkin.
Yeah, I didn't actually explain the pumpkin. Oh, Dan is on to World 4.
Yeah. Like, honestly, Dan is making a good push. Is it going to be enough? I think they're both going to get to the final stage. I think we're going to have sudden death.
Yeah. So, yeah, 4-1 versus 4-3, according to Joey. Anyway, I was going to explain the pumpkin. I never really explained what actually that does. It's an attack that a opponent can use, and I believe also you can get turned into a pumpkin from a negative pickup.
Yeah.
It pretty much just completely destroys your ability to turn and your speed.
It reverses your controls too, doesn't it?
Okay, that was the reverse controls. Shrinking is the one that destroys your ability to turn your speed then.
Aha. By the way, somebody's asking what the best super move is in this game. Honestly, I couldn't really find any that did anything meaningful.
The super moves aren't great. The one I had, I think, was just a speed boost when I did the race, which is probably one of the more beneficial ones.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, the shrinking prevents the boost pads from working, which is the worst thing about it, especially in these intersecting tracks.
Yeah, you would just have to wait it out if you had that happen. So just so everybody knows, we've got under 20 minutes left. Szechuan Steve is currently on 4-3, Dan on 4-1. You have to get at least 3rd place in order to move on to the next track. There's only one after this one for Szechuan Steve, which means that technically he could beat it, I don't think it's happening, though.
You know, it depends. Like I said, if you come into it in pole position and just murder it,
But
it's definitely possible.
remember, that requires not running into anything so that people don't catch up to you. Also, my big question is Shrek fast enough to get a head start and not have somebody else bump him from behind? I'm not sure.
Good question.
Oh, he did get third. Perhaps at this point you do have to get second. You know, there were some weird rules when I played this. Honestly, I didn't understand what always allowed me to move forward, but it was just dumb. It's dumb. Ah, you have to get first place on the final stage to win. Uh-oh.
Does this game have the stationary-ish enemies like an F-Zero? No. I know what you're talking about, and they don't have that. What they do have is the 8th place racer is usually so slow that if you're doing well, you end up lapping them and you have to get around them. Dan is on 4-2, so Dan is definitely catching up.
Very nice. I think Steve... No, Steve, get out of the wall! Oh my gosh.
Oh, Steve clipped into the wall.
Oh,
Yeah, that can happen.
You hate to see that happen.
I don't.
Wow, that's really rude of you, Tristan.
I'm just telling it like it is.
So why are there S's around? What do those do? Why do you eat them?
I seem to recall that if you pick up enough of those, you get a very tiny fractional speed boost for the rest of the track. But I never noticed a difference when I played it.
I don't know. Okay, I'm just trying to find any sort of information here. Okay, IGN says that this is an absolute embarrassment to the Shrek name. I'm not sure that's true. But okay, hot take. You have no strats here.
Aha, that's right. The S things are what fill the item box. I am getting
What item
dredged
box?
up memories from like 2 years ago. Yeah, okay, so Steve is having problems moving ahead. I didn't see what place he got just then.
Oh wait, is that what allows you to use items?
So no, the red, or the indicators around the outside of the item box get filled up by picking up S's. And once you have enough of them, you get a star item, a super item. He took third again. Okay, so yeah, you definitely need to have second here to move on.
He has not been informed of that, but neither has Dan. So I think that it's best for us to keep it a little bit equal. And unless...
And Steve goes in a hole.
Oh no, Steve! Okay, let's see about super cheats for this game. Nope, there aren't any.
Yeah, Steve has reached the point where he's restarting even if he doesn't get like a good start, and I don't entirely disagree with that outlook, with that practice, because the other racers have reached the point where your maximum speed has started to matter. As you can see, Steve is able to leap out in front and then just half of the racers pass him. So he's in the hard part now.
Oh, I did find a website that has a cheat for this game. So what it says is finish the game really, really easy. All you gotta do is race with the gingerbread man. He be the slowest there, but he has the best turning stats. He gets around the corners faster and gets on a lot more speed on the exit of the corners. Do this and you could finish the game under an hour.
That's not a cheat.
It says it's a cheat.
Well, if I say I'm a cheat, does that mean I'm a cheat?
No, Steve's a cheat. In fact, I'd say Steve's the cheat. Yeah, both of them are on the same level now.
We're like one level of abstraction from a who's on first joke here, and I'm just gonna walk away from that.
What was the cheat? The cheat is play as the gingerbread man, and then you go slow, but you turn well. Yeah, the cheat was use the best character. There we go.
Okay, so Steve and Dan are both on the same track at this point. So Dan has fully caught up, and it's going to be the next two tracks that decide the race.
Yeah, this is... I'm not too surprised. Honestly, Steve has already taken third on this track. Like, he just needs to do a little bit better. But the thing is, like, it's hard to pass anybody at this point because the lanes are pretty narrow, and if you touch somebody, you end up slowing down. Best strat, I think, is to basically hold onto your pumpkins and then go up and shoot them at the next racer as soon as you can see them. And Steve just got rid of the pumpkins. Sad day.
Yeah, this is where using Shrek introduces probably an unfair amount of difficulty, because he just doesn't have the acceleration and top speed to get into second. You got to use some level of strategy here, and you can't block the other racer. So, yeah, pray for item luck.
I mean, he can fart, so that's cool. Oh no,
I
that's
can fart. Am I cool? Yeah, going in the water does not help.
No, it's going to be another third place, probably. Like, unless the CPU really messes up. But they're fairly consistent in the way that they race in this game.
Yeah, they are. I believe part of the reason why the car physics just favor the AI racers is they move in a specific line on a specific schedule and can't be diverted from it. They're hard-coded to follow that racing line. So the developers just went, well, if they can't divert from that line, we're just going to make it so any collision stops the racer and catapults the opponent in front of them.
Oh, yeah. So Steve, trying the same race again, I think he may... Oh, he just got pushed right to the back.
Yep. That's what happens in this. They all pack into one tight line, and if you get rear-ended by one of them, you go all the way to the back of the pack.
Yep, starting in 8th is really difficult at this point because of all of the racers that just completely ruin you. Steve doing an interesting choice, deciding not to go where all the other racers go, which, by the way, they pretty much stay in the exact same line when they're racing.
Yeah, it's a very wise decision to just try not to make contact with any of them.
Yeah, all you have to do is get a good start and then get destroyed like that. So that's cool. Why does he have a turtle power-up?
I think... I don't know.
Oh, that's a speed boost. Oh, that's
I was about to say, I don't think it's a turtle. I thought it was an alligator.
It's a frog? What does it do? Like, why would a frog give you I don't know. My gosh.
Dan, meanwhile, is running in 7th.
Yeah, Szechuan Steve definitely just wants to get a good start to this, which I think is absolutely going to be necessary in order to get to the final stage of the game. The thing is, like, Shrek has a pretty good starting speed, but then everybody else's speed just seems so good. Also, what does turning into Little Red Riding Hood do?
I believe that's your invincibility.
Okay. Okay. It blocks bad powers. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Who has the lead? They are both on the same stage, but Szechuan Steve has gotten third place at least once. So technically, Steve would be winning. But since they're on the same stage, we will be going into essentially sudden death. Yeah, that sounds scary. Tristan, you're the executioner here in this case.
That is definitely pretty scary.
Yeah. Do you even, like, have you ever chopped wood?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
It's exhausting.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to chop someone's head off. Mr. Executioner, so, you know, it's rough.
No, I mean, we did that when Bao Qing Tian was the game. That was a while ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We cut off a lot of heads for that game. Steve restarting. Like, I can't fault Steve for this strategy, but at the same time, I think that once you're not starting in 8th place, you just gotta have one solid good push. Okay. This music is so bad. I just don't understand anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't imagine playing this stage with Shrek. Like, honestly, the princess, Little Red Riding Hood, I think, is pretty dang good on this level as well. It's just Shrek is not okay on this level.
Shrek is just not okay.
Yeah, in general. Bye-bye.
Yeah, when you start out, you need to not be on the right side of the track. You need to avoid the other racers as they come at you. They're gonna pass you, and then you got to figure out how to.
Dan finished in 3rd as well.
That's exciting.
So yeah, it's definitely tied. Steve did it first, so technically Steve would get the double tiebreaker if neither of them can get past 3rd place.
Yep.
But if one of them can, that'll be great.
We're gonna give them a shot when time gets called to try to move up on that, but it's gonna be rough.
I'm excited. I want to see. I want to see if they can get to the final stage. Like, it's still possible.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely possible. It's just a matter of... I mean, I was stuck on this stage for a long time during my race of this. It took a while to figure out... one thing that neither racer is doing is drift boosting, I've seen. And that would help a lot.
But at the same time, like, if you run into a wild drift boosting, it's very easy to lose more time than you saved during the, like, past 5 or 10 boosts.
Absolutely.
But I still think it's worth it. Like, you have to do it.
Now, I also didn't tell them that drift boosting existed, so neither one of them may have been made aware of it. Dan seems to be starting to do it a little bit, whether that's deliberately or on accident, I don't know. He's a really tight contention for 2nd.
Oh my gosh. He's in 2nd now.
Yep. Can he hold on to it? Yeah, he's starting to do some drift boosting. That was a lot of speed loss there.
Like,
but he's still strongly in 2nd.
Wow. But there's a whole lap and a half left. Like, I'm a little bit concerned. Oh, just 1 lap left. If he doesn't make any mistakes, he could hold on to this.
He's holding his ground against 3rd place rather strongly. He just needs to execute this without making any mistakes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that Steve could get past the next racer in here. They really do not make mistakes at this point in the game.
Steve needs to reset, yeah. He's way too far behind on the 3rd lap.
Yep. Meanwhile, Dan is having a solid push. There is a racer about 3 seconds behind him, though. So as long as he doesn't die, well, you can't die in this game, but as long as he doesn't get hit, he has a really good chance of making it in at least 2nd place. Yeah, and I think that slide boost, the drifting, is helping him a lot.
There it is.
There we go. Dan the Enigma moves into 1st place in the last 5 minutes of this match, and on to the final stage, which he will not beat.
Yeah, welcome to this heck.
Literally the worst level in kart history.
One of the things we haven't covered is that you see these diagonal sections on the track where the walls are doing a staircase pattern.
Yes.
The hitbox for that is ridiculous. So the track is a lot narrower even than it looks, and it already looks pretty narrow.
Oh, yeah. By the way, all of the racers take the shortcuts in this map. So you will always fall behind if you don't take them, which, by the way, you can see on Dan's map that he is significantly behind all of the racers. Like, this track is the worst. It's so bad. Hey, Steve is in second. Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Steve is barely in second, though.
Steve needs to hold on to this.
Racer.
Now, Steve is...
Watch the...
Yeah. Third place is coming up. No, Steve! It didn't jump him! It's not jumping him!
You can't jump when you're shrunk.
But even after falling once. Oh my gosh. I'm so stressed.
Oh no.
That might be it for Steve. I don't know.
Yeah, it's real close.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
there's...
I would say Steve needs to restart, but this is a 2.5 minute race. You can't.
Hey! Maybe there's a small chance, a very, very small... Nope.
Steve's got a motor. He's about 2 seconds behind second.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, wait. Yeah, he can't restart. Oh, there's one more lap. There's a chance that we are going into overtime. There's a chance.
Steve's catching up, but oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah. Oh, Steve, no.
The corner.
The corners are the worst. But there's the other opponent right in front of Steve. Okay, it's third, it's second. Can Steve, no!
Steve got shrunk and got stuck on the corner again.
Not the corner. Oh my gosh. This game is so bad. Okay, we've got 20 seconds left. That might be enough to finish. Oh my gosh. Second place.
If Steve starts the next track, he gets an attempt to finish it, right?
Yes, I would say that if he finishes in at least second, then he gets that shot, which he did. We are going into sudden death. Whoever beats this next lap.
Okay, so Steve can't reset, right? This is it, right?
I believe resetting would not be to their advantage. Yeah, they get to finish this race. If either of them finishes at all, that puts a solid mark up. I believe that they could retry up until we are 5 minutes in, if I'm not mistaken. As soon as we hit 1:05, it's done. There will be no more progression.
Okay.
Unless I mistook how the rules were stated.
That wasn't exactly what I intended, but I also didn't know that's what you said, so I didn't clarify, so we'll go with that.
Best time on this run is what Cadis says. Okay,
we'll go with that.
That sounds like a good deal. They get to finish this run, and then it's over.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
neither player has
Steve
cleared
just
this
finished
track.
that.
Very...
Not Steve. Dan just finished with a 425 or something in that area. 421.
Oh no, Steve, get out of the wall! Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we're all just waiting to see if Steve can finish this faster than 421. Oh, this is intense.
Like, it's definitely doable.
Oh, this track is so bad.
It's so bad.
Like, we haven't told Steve what his watermark is, what he's trying to beat, but he knows this is sudden death, and this race determines placements. He's aware of that.
Yeah, Steve definitely feels the need for speed.
And just every one of these bumps has to be just heartbreaking, knowing that.
Now, technically, you can actually jump from one of these tracks to another stretch. It's very difficult, very precise to do. It saves time if you do it right, but honestly, if I were one of the players, I would just want to play this level the way it's intended. Steve still has a chance as long as he can avoid hitting too many walls and not get stuck in them. He may be able to pass Dan's time. Oh my gosh.
Steve posted a 1:19 lap time, and he has a 1:21 to take the victory.
What?
So if he does the exact same lap, he'll win. He's got 2 seconds of leeway.
This is nuts. He did go on the shortcut, so that's good. Oh, get out of the wall! Oh my gosh, okay. That's okay, he got stuck in the wall during the last attempt as well. So, I wouldn't say the wall's too much of a bad thing, just don't do it again.
Oh, this is painful to
Oh
watch.
my gosh! What's it gonna be? I'm dying! I'm dying! Steve!
20 seconds left.
20 seconds left.
He's getting close.
But he's really close to the end. Oh my gosh. Just don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Oh, he's in 7th place, actually.
That matters more than the time.
That does matter more than the time. And bam!
4:17. 4:16.
4:16. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Tristan, this is absolutely ludicrous. But that, as a matter of fact, is time. And as it turns out, in sudden death terms, Steve managed to both move into 2nd place and beat, or 7th place, not 2nd place. Oh no, nobody went to 2nd place. 7th place and beat Dan the Enigma's time. Per the sudden death rules there, that means that Szechuan Steve technically takes the victory. Oh my gosh.
That was so close.
That was more intense than it should have been. Oh, okay, I can breathe. I'm inviting them, by the way, to come and join Voice. Hello there, Dan. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I'm
Bad.
dying. I'm dying because this was an unbelievable finish. Like, I'm absolutely shocked at how things went. You both made it to the final track of the game, which...
Yeah, apparently he made it, like, at the buzzer, so he was able to do his lap.
He moved...
Yeah.
Yep, and he moved into 7th place in that race. And got a 4:16, and you got a 4:21. Like, it was really close.
God.
Yeah.
I was walling really hard in that courtyard lariat level. I was walling really hard.
Yo, okay, what was up with that? Because I got 3rd on that.
Me too. I
Yeah.
got 3rd like 5 times.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
never,
so-
I thought we were supposed to... Yeah, I thought we were supposed to get 3rd to clear.
So the
Yeah,
rules
so
changed.
apparently
Sorry.
just in the middle of the last world, it moves up to 2nd, and I completely forgot about that.
I was vaguely remembering that something weird might happen, but I was like, you know, Steve ran into that wall first. If we told both Steve and Dan, that would give a disadvantage to Steve. But Dan, you managed to move up to 2nd a lot faster than Steve. and then moved into first place. Like, that's really what held Steve up the entire time. But then right at the end, like, seriously, 2 seconds left or so, he cleared that track and moved on to yours. Like,
Oh my god. 2 seconds! I lost by 2 seconds!
yeah, basically.
Unbelievable!
Wow.
Oh,
That was a good race, though. Holy moly.
God, I hate this game.
Oh, sorry.
Good game, man.
Chat's
Game was
correcting
bad.
me by 4 seconds, okay? So don't worry.
Still though.
My-
You know what? I blame that 4th track, the donkey, that Speedway one.
Yeah.
That one was. I was on there for like 10 minutes because like there's so many inconsistencies. Like the power-ups have so much wider of a hitbox than or power downs have so much wider hitbox than power-ups, and the AI just completely ignores that and the holes.
Yeah. I'd say the worst part of this game, though, is how when anybody runs into you, it doesn't matter where they are or how they approach you, you stop and they keep going.
Yeah, they
It's-
clip through you and they force you back.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, there were a number of times where Steve especially would get a big jump at the start of the race, and then the entire pack would just run into him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what happened at the start of Courtyard Lariat. Like, I was trying to break ahead because I didn't know what was gonna be with that course, and then all of a sudden, nope, 6 people running into me at once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, it's technically beatable, that final stage. I've beaten it personally, but honestly, I almost think it's easier to go to the previous stage, come in first, and then enter the next stage in first place, so you have a better time of staying there. Because as soon as you move backwards at all in ranks with that stage, you're pretty much ending up in 8th.
Yep.
Yeah, I consider doing that on Courtyard Lariat.
That's Kusogr4nde for you, though. You come in
Yeah.
expecting a chill Shrek race game, and you get rear-ended by 7 people.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think that this is one of the most exciting races that we've had in Kusogr4nde. Like, So, Dan, you're not going out without fire and fury. You know, you've got that with you.
I fought to the bitter end. That's all I can say.
Oh, you did. You did. Well, Steve, you're going to be moving on. Our lovely cheat guy. He's got a picture of the cheat on the layout. That's why. Dan, you are eliminated, but remember, hit me up for prizes and such. I know that there are a couple people who have hit me up already. I need to get everything sorted out for that. But feel free to go send me a PM. Do you have any last words for your tombstone, Dan?
Twitch.tv/Danny. No, but hey, might as well while I'm here, right? No, but it was fun. I still think that I've played worse on Kuso, but this is a very close second. If I were to take a guess, if I were to rank these,
What was worse?
believe it or not, I would say Soccer Kid.
Really?
I played that last year. That was last year for me. Yeah, I thought Soccer Kid was the worst game. No, sorry. That and the RoboCop bootleg.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
that
also
bootleg.
mine.
Yeah,
that's
that-
my number 1 worst.
that was pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
So I've taken your top 2 worst. Good. I'm honored.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be a lot to put on the tombstone, by the way, Dan. So that's okay.
Yeah,
We'll
we
find
can
a way.
We could just go with twitch.tv/DannyEnigma. I'm okay with that.
We'll put the full
Hashtag
sentence
game was
there. Hashtag game was fun.
Hashtag gamer moment.
Oh, gamer moment. Aw, everybody, we'll go ahead and cry a lot at your tombstone. Probably more for the words than anything else.
Pepperoni and cheese.
Seriously, though, everybody watching Twitch, all of the people who are playing here, they do have their own Twitch channels. Highly recommended that you go check out what they're doing because they're always playing games. Well, not always. Like, literally, you have to take breaks. But, you know, it's cool to see people in the community grow as streamers. So go ahead, give people a follow, give them love. Well, I'll go ahead and let you two go. Thank you again, and please enjoy a Shrekless afternoon.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Yep, I'll definitely be back for Kuso 5 though. So
Oh, baby cakes. I'm
The
excited.
Reckoning.
The Shrekening.
no,
I'm sorry.
not again.
You asked for that.
I did. But
Okay.
no.
Okay, take care.
Have a good one,
Take
guys.
care.
Well, Tristan, I'm sitting here right now. We've actually got a couple hours until the next match. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm wondering, is Silver Moon in chat right now? Is he lurking? Because if so, we can do his thing. If not, we can go ahead and do random sub-choices.
I could make you play Hachiman for an hour.
Oh my gosh. Hachiman. I mean, that's a fun game.
It is, and I need to expose more people to it. But yeah, is Silver Moon here?
I don't see him. Let me go ahead and look who all the users are in chat. Silver Moon, are you here? Silver. I don't see Silver Moon here. In that case, I think we need to move over to do a sub choice. Has any Karo Z